Hey there, American Horror Story fans. They say forbidden fruit tastes the sweetest, and we're talking about American Horror Story Apocalypse, Season 8, Episode 3, Forbidden Fruit. It's a pretty sweet episode. Stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the AfterBuzz TV American Horror Story After Show. We are talking about American Horror Story Apocalypse, Season 8, Episode 3, Forbidden Fruit. Yes, it's a party in here now. Yeah, lighten it up.
This is our own soiree.
I am your host, Alana Jordan, and I'm super excited because we have our full panel today.
Hey guys, I'm Ashley Allen here.
Hey, I'm new. I'm Jen Leone.
Yes, and I'm Kayla Rene'e.
So, right off the bat, what did you guys think about this episode?
I was on the edge of my seat.
Ooh, yes.
I'm like, whoa, third episode, we're just kicking down doors right now. Like, okay, not holding nothing back. Like, all right, yes, I'm here for it all.
Yeah, I liked how in your face it was.
Yeah.
You know, literally in your face. I loved it.
Yeah, I was definitely a little spooked and excited. Just a bunch of emotions, I would say. But it was good. It was great.
Yeah, this was a really cool one too because the first two episodes were really creepy and they really set the tone well.
Yeah.
But this, we really got some action going because I was like, how are we going to watch a whole season of these people in a bunker? Like, this isn't gonna work out. And like episode 3, they're like, don't worry, bitch.
Yeah, they didn't disappoint.
Not staying in the bunker the whole time. But kicking it off in the bunker, Michael is interviewing everybody because he's still going to choose who is worthy to go to the sanctuary.
Definitely.
So he's going through talking to everybody. Mallory, he's saying, you know, I can see everybody's dark places. She's saying she doesn't have any, and he's like, you know, basically that's bullcrap because everybody does, and is then pointing out everybody else's, saying, you know, Coco, you're too shallow to have any like real darkness, so you can come, like you can probably be a part of this. Like
My favorite line.
Yeah, basically. I love it. He's like, the darkness requires a certain depth of character.
Yeah.
You don't got it.
I just love that he's basically like this living like interview with the vampire
Right.
character.
It's real
Brad Pitt. But he's talking to Dinah too, and kind of flipping the script since she's a host. This like interviewing. He's interviewing her. She's not quite buying it because he's saying you have this soul. What kind of soul are you looking for?
Yeah.
Andre saying, you know, that it then throws his mother on the bus as she's pure evil.
Yeah.
And then we see pure evil in the physical form of Mallory, full-fledged being like, let me go, and
Her devil,
Oh,
her
my
inner devil
God.
came out so fast. I'm
well,
like, what?
Michael's, it was like her inner witchiness apparently just like triggered Michael's demon face.
Yeah, I was like, what is this devil standoff that's going on here? I was like, fire here, fire there, faces coming out. I was like, wow.
And I'm like, and we haven't even rolled the opening credits. Like, jeez, this is a lot.
Someone who gets something out of him. He's very, you know, aloof, and then all of a sudden we get that. So I don't know. I was all about it.
Yeah.
I feel that she's gonna be like bigger than we expected.
Yeah, she's clearly one of the witches.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
It's always the quiet ones that you have to watch out for. So we got a taste of that early in the episode.
I'm actually happy to see her character like that. I love Billy, so I'm like, I love her. Like, I love to see her like this. So I'm excited.
I adore Billy Lord. But then when we come back from the break, we have Mead. Now, last episode, there was some debate as to what is Mead. Is she an alien? She goes, God, what is this? I love that this episode, they're just flat out like, no, she's a robot.
Yeah.
Like, she's just like,
But
I'm a robot. What up? I'm a robot. I was saying it a couple times.
It was funny because they didn't even pick up on the fact that like that goo was leaking out last episode. So it was just like she just came back all normal again. Hey guys, I'm here.
Yeah.
Just patched up. Nothing happened.
It wasn't in her memory. She wasn't programmed to feel
her memory
that.
bank.
Yeah.
I love that they had all the flashbacks were on Halloween too. Like the Halloween 1962, the Halloween like 1988. So we know Halloween is a big deal, which we've seen in previous seasons when they're talking about in Murder House that Halloween is the one night that the living and the dead, the barrier is broken and can be incarnate. Which makes sense if all of this is gonna, tie together, and we know that Michael is the Antichrist, basically. He's the son of
figured that,
Tate and
Vivian.
Vivian from Murder House.
And also, really quick, the in Hotel, they have Devil's Night.
Yeah.
And then one of the last episodes, I think it was like 11, something like that, where James Patrick March, he was saying that we'll all... everyone wants to talk about, like, it was in the future, 2022, so where is this line between apocalypse? And in Hotel, he says, we're going to be celebrating Devil's Night and eating together until the end of the world. So once he said that, I'm like, okay, there's something here too. So I don't know. I know that it's just the witches in Murder House, but maybe there's a little Hotel too. We'll see.
I love that. I love that all of it will tie together too. And we also, at the end of the episode, will have a little crossover segment that we'll talk about how everything kind of crosses in together as well.
Can we just touch on this fight scene really quickly? Miss Mead's fight scene in 1988 when she talked about her
Yes.
That was beyond great. Nas agrees with me in the chat. Says the fight scene with me was A1. Really surprised me. That I'm telling you, like, this episode is just full of action in the first 10 minutes. Like, it was everything. I love seeing
I would
that.
watch a whole spin-off movie of just that.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like Kathy Bates and her, like,
In 1988.
what she was doing, like, that's crazy. But I was here for her little flashbacks.
Yeah, it was cool.
And shout out to the makeup artist too that made makeup so good that there was even a joke. They were like,
kids
"Well,
are
your
like-
makeup looks great," and it's like that's because it's real, and it's like a makeup artist.
Yes.
actually did do that.
So
Here,
good.
kid, Candy, happy Halloween. Her husband's all dead in the back, like, hey.
I loved it. I just
Natural.
thought it was amazing. Yeah, and I think that it was really cool too that the first movie that she was watching on her date was Rosemary's Baby.
Oh,
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, so about another child who is the Antichrist, bringer of the apocalypse. Like, I see you, Ryan
Everything's
Murphy.
tying
Full
in,
circle,
yeah.
full
Like,
circle.
everything's tying
That
in.
writer's room,
So many
I
references.
swear.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just want to see the wall of note cards that
Oh
are
my
like,
God.
reference, put this in there, sneak this in, Easter eggs.
They should have a hidden camera just so that we could all get that, just know what it's like a day in the writer's room.
They're never going to do that. Like, I'm like,
Never.
they're never going to
They'll never do it, but that's what this show is for.
Yes.
And other shows on AfterBuzz. We got a whole bunch.
Definitely. Speaking of those, Elena, thank you. AfterBuzzers, our network, produces after shows for nearly all of your favorite TV shows, from dramas, reality TV, our sci-fi channel, and more. There is no network that works harder to serve television fans, but you guys, we need your help. We're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels below, and by subscribing to our channel, YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made for you, and you'll help AfterBuzz continue to grow. And if you're worried about those pesky notifications, do not be, because they're optional. So hit that subscribe button now for this channel, and check out all of our AfterBuzz channels as well. Let us know you guys did so in the comments as we're reading now, and we'll thank you on air. But for now, thank you guys for being the best fans and for letting us be the ESPN of TV talk.
Yeah. Give us a thumbs up.
Yes, and that 5-star rating on
5-star.
iTunes if you're
Yeah.
listening.
All
And
that.
we're on iTunes too.
Yes.
So check us out.
iTunes, SoundCloud, all
In the
of it.
car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out too to some of the people too. Also, be sure to follow us on
Yes.
social media as well,
Absolutely.
because we love you guys. So shout out to some of the guys. Also, we'll be shouting out throughout the episode. But Jeremy with a Z, DeAndre, P25, David Viania. I probably just butchered that. Sorry. At Emergency B, Jan Van S. You guys are
Yes.
amazing.
Mwah, mwah,
Thank
mwah. We
you
love
for
you all.
commenting, for sending us all the love on social
Definitely.
media, and for rating and subscribing and
Absolutely.
doing all that good stuff.
And thanks to everyone in the chat, the live chat right now. We are keeping up with you guys. We want to continue to conversate with you guys, speak with you guys throughout the entire episode. So keep it coming. We are watching.
And tweet us.
And if you're listening to us not live right now, you can always tune in live on Wednesdays at 10 p.m. Pacific
Absolutely.
Standard Time. time. But yeah, this was so awesome too that we got this conversation of Venable talking to Mead and this kind of what is my purpose breakdown where she's flat out told your purpose is to protect the outpost like it's always been. So that
was like,
I think ties in. Yeah.
That was like the real moment that we were like, okay, Mead is a real for sure robot. Because she was like her breakdown moment. She's just like, I feel so bad. I'm like always so loyal to you. And I'm like programmed to do this and that. And it's just like, what? Like, what are we doing? Right. And she's so confused. And it just got like, I don't know. I love Kathy Bates because like her whole demeanor was such like so robotic that it kind of was looking like she was like a programmed figure. You know what I mean? So it was like, wow. I'm like, I just wanted to see like how she was going to react in that moment. But yeah, we'll talk about how their plan ended up going. But yeah, I was here for it. I was here for that moment.
But I think it's interesting too that it's not that her purpose was to defend Venable. It was specifically that it's for the outpost. So it's like, okay, as long as anything is programmed in that doesn't go against that, we can see that potentially recurring later on.
She's programmed by the cooperative, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The cooperative has programmed her.
Right.
So we think of
Exactly. So we think.
Yeah. Later on, Michael says that he has programmed her too, but we'll dive into that as well. Meanwhile, outside, Brock's alive.
Who knew?
I'm like, I figured they were because Billy Eichner is just too amazing. Like, I was like, you're not gonna just like not come back.
You called it too in like the first episode. You were like, I think Brock is gonna end up like doing something, and like lo and behold, he's like Call of Duty out here,
Right.
shooting people and stuff. I was like, wow, he's been through a lot.
With the radioactive fallout and the cannibal attacks and
cancer,
which we even see the cannibals too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Roasting a foot. And I love that he's like, I was a finalist on Top Chef.
I like that we
pork.
right. That's so gross. I just think that it's really good that we see a little bit of the outside world other than what's being controlled by the cooperative. Like what is going on other than just these, little people that are the Greys and were caught doing something. So yeah, just that was like a little refreshing. I'm just so horrible that I just keep looking at the spoilers, so I knew he was coming back, and I'm like, oh, I wish I didn't ruin that for myself, but it's fine.
I don't look at any of
I know. I'm like,
I don't want to know.
When
When we get to predictions, you have to sit in silence.
I love it so
She's gonna
much.
predict the whole series.
I'm like, so listen, okay.
I'm like, Jen was right.
Surprisingly, you were right again.
Jen was right the entire season.
No, this was pretty cool though. That we've in previous seasons, especially Murder House and Hotel, we've seen a lot of undercarriage, but we've never actually seen literally someone under a
the
carriage. So
I like that transition.
I swear, he was so like.
We need to get the drums ready for
I know.
you.
That
was
Drums,
good.
like,
Wait,
you're
we need
welcome.
some-
Little
yeah.
fun with puns.
There we go. Every week, she's hot, guys. She has it coming.
Never a dull
I love
moment.
this like kind of hidden Brock Trojan horse where he's like, okay, deliver this carriage of apples, but he's like riding underneath it.
Yeah.
And it's like, how lucky is that the apple carriage happens
No,
to
the
go by?
first
So you're
thing-
like, this has to be planned.
The first thing that I noticed was like, okay, so it was like after he killed the cannibals, then it was like he seen the carriage go by. Why did it look like the carriage was gone like for like a mile, and then all of a sudden he like was underneath the carriage? Like, what did he do? Like run after it and then
Yeah,
kind of like
maybe.
just get under it?
He has
They're like-
superpowers now.
Right.
He eats people and murders and does all these crazy things. He's a new
can run fast.
person.
We see Billy Eichner run around enough on Billy on the Street. We don't need to see it in American Horror Story. We can just
Right?
assume. We're like, we've seen you run fast. We know.
Yeah.
He didn't make it to Santa Monica Airport.
Right.
Now, this is kind of cool, though, that Venable is thinking, okay, well, how can we use these apples to our advantage? And Mead is saying, we can poison them. There's not a bad apple in the bunch, but what if they're all bad? I love that line.
That was a good line. That was a good line.
Yeah.
So their plan is to have a big Halloween party, kill everybody.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm thinking, okay, well, that's not going to actually happen. What were you guys thinking?
I definitely didn't think it was gonna work. I was like, what? Like, okay, they're gonna get, like, I felt like it was gonna be somebody who was gonna slip through the cracks and be like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, maybe it was like Emily and Timothy. They were probably gonna be like the ones to find out. But I knew it was somebody that was gonna be like, no, something's not right. But clearly this plan was to the T. Like,
and speaking
wow.
of Emily and Timothy, I have to say there was several people who also had shout outs too about the Adam and Eve references.
Yes.
David Vanya had a shout out for that one, which this one they blatantly say, like Gallant is even when they bring out the apples, he's like, oh well, it's this is clearly a Garden of Eden reference. It's for the sanctuary. So again, thank you, Ryan Murphy, for just being like, I'm clearing it up for you guys.
I love him so
He
much.
made it, he like solidified it. Like, yes, these two are Adam and Eve, and they're eating the forbidden fruit.
I
Like,
thought maybe
together.
Mallory would have sniffed something out since
Yes.
clearly we saw she has some type of powers or something.
I was
she
thinking
seems
that
to
too.
be maybe coming into her own, so I figured maybe she would be able to see something.
Oh
but
my God, you know what I just realized? I'm sorry, I just interrupted you.
What?
I just realized that the laptop was an Apple laptop, and
It
that
was.
was their forbidden fruit. I didn't get that until just
I got it
now.
last episode.
I got that the laptop was like the
Yeah.
forbidden fruit, but I didn't get it's literally an apple.
See, I think it was like last episode when Emily and Timothy opened up the computer. Like the apple was like really dominant in the corner, so it was like you
guys
kind of
are better
it
than
was
me.
like it kind
I
of
did
like
not
what
pick
is
up
it like
on that until
foreshadow?
just now.
Yeah, it was like it kind of foreshadowed that it was gonna be like some forbidden fruit or whatever.
I'm sorry, I
Okay.
totally interrupted you. For
no,
that.
that's what I
It
was
was just
gonna
like
say.
that was the
Light
apple
bulb.
going
Ding,
off
ding.
above, like that was it lighting up above my head instead of a light bulb. It was just the Apple logo. But yeah, this was really, really interesting. Like, I mean, what were you thinking? Were you thinking that it was going to happen, that they were going to be successful in the plan?
I did not think that everyone was gonna die. I mean, it was literally, like I said, this was like a Game of Thrones moment, the Red Wedding, when everybody in the freaking show died. I'm like, this can't be happening. Like, what's gonna happen next?
They're making me like feel very nervous about Halloween every season
Yeah.
of this show. They're like, nothing good happens at Halloween parties. Don't enjoy yourself. Don't even enjoy getting ready because you're gonna tell your friends what happened with the demon man, and they're gonna call you nutters and tell you to get out of the room.
Right?
But look, before
Sounds really
everybody died, we already had a cast member already die off, like in a basketball.
Okay, so now this is the thing too, which I also like that we get this like kind of back and forth with Gallant and Coco and
Yeah.
Mallory like pre-party. But circling back, again to Mallory, how did nobody notice that Coco was missing in the party? If this was like a whole big thing where it was like no witnesses, make sure everybody's together. I'm like, she's not even here because she just went off with, you're all bad at counting.
Yeah.
All about it. Like,
There's just-
how
there's
did
an
they not
extra
even notice
person.
that Brock even came in there
I'm
dressed
like,
in
that
all black?
one extra, and then you're like -1, and then you like,
There's
come
not
on.
that many people.
Exactly.
And you'd notice her hair.
Exactly.
You can keep
Yeah.
up
and
with
her
a
voice.
handful of people.
Look, I'm like her voice and her personality. is like-
Everything.
Coco is, But I do love that, that during this, they have everybody bobbing for apples, and she's like, okay, nobody eat your apples until the last minute.
Yeah.
We're all gonna enjoy this treat together. Here's your treat. We see everybody die. We go to commercial. We come back, and that was your trick. And I was like, oh God, editing is spot on this show.
But yeah, I'm like, I was so shocked to see Coco get stabbed in the head by Brock. I was like,
Yeah.
what the heck happened here?
That is
'Cause
always the worst when you go to a party and you get a splitting headache.
Oh.
Wait, where is it? Where is it? That was bad. It doesn't deserve it. It doesn't.
But she
Yeah,
was
I
so
was not
confident,
expecting
though.
her
She
to
was
get
just like, oh,
stabbed in the
Mr.
face.
Langdon, I know this is my test, and I'm going to give you, what she called it, like analingus?
Analingus.
I was like, where is this going? I thought it was going to turn into a porno. I
Well,
was
it
like,
can't
There's
go
okay.
a note card
Yeah.
on the wall. The writer was like, analingus. We're going to have that.
This is a
just
new word.
Dropping it in somewhere.
Right.
Well,
I
she
was
has
like,
a short
wow.
tongue and a,
Oh my
and a
God,
gag,
yeah.
and a gag reflex.
Oh, he's like, I know.
Yeah, and it was like, that's awkward. I thought it was going to be like a cute little moment. I was like, oh, they're reconnected. And it was like, it went way to the left. Brock was not here for none of it.
Listen,
Like,
he has been on a search for 18 months. And she just told him, I never do this. I didn't even do this to my boyfriend. Of course he's going to be mad.
He's like, but you don't ever do this to me. I've been out here struggling, Call of Duty. I'm out here surviving, like, last man on earth. Like,
any horror movie, too, that I have ever seen, or TV show, or anything, I'm like, never hook up with somebody in full masquerade attire. It is not the person that you think you are. It's a murderer. It's always a murderer.
It's always a murderer. Always. Like, it always is. He was just so like Hills.
This is an all-female panel, so there's no argument on it. Everyone's like, yes,
we're
it's a murderer. Stranger danger. Stay away.
He was like
creepy men are creepy.
His whole skin and like how he looked was like straight up like Hills have eyes. I was like, oh my God. Like he's been through a lot. I felt bad. I was like, Brock took off the mask and I was like, oh my God. You've been through hell and back, literally. So like I felt bad. I probably would have killed Coco too, but.
So I have a question for you guys.
Yes.
So I think it's Eve Soto in the chat says, what do you guys think Coco's power is?
Oh, because you know what? That is a little foreshadowing. I don't want to give it away yet. But
think about it, let it marinate.
Give it away.
We'll come back.
No, I'm just saying like how the ending.
Okay. This is actually interesting because when Coco's being interviewed and she's talking to Langdon, and then she's talking to who she later thinks is Langdon too. She's saying that basically her power is that she's an influencer. People do what she wants. So I think it's probably because she's a social influencer, and she's like, opinions are my power. You know, so I think it's probably going to be
good reference, Elena.
Wow. Yeah, and Mallory mentions sometimes she makes me do things that I don't want.
She had to wipe her ass because she painted her nails before taking a dump. So it's like, she's going to have some sort of
we just figured it
mental
out.
coordination.
That's brilliant.
Let's hold on to that.
I like that.
Ask and you shall receive.
What's your next question?
I don't even know. Everybody dies.
Everybody dies.
I was like, is this really the end of the show? Like,
I know.
Right.
I was like, wait, like,
I was like,
who's
this
left?
is interesting too. This is what I'm excited that this is a little bit of a shorter season too, because I really think that they have each act planned out for this one. Because it's going to be 10 episodes for this one, right? I believe, which makes me feel like it's going to be broken up kind of as like a 3-act structure. So episodes 1 through 3 would be the first act, then 2 through 6 we have as the second act, and then the last ones will be the 4th act and kind of like a wrap up. So it would make sense if this is kind of the big thing that happens after you know the first act of this season. Is that everybody's dead, and then...
And Halloween usually lines up with actual Halloween, so it is going to be really quick, I feel like. And I was thinking the same thing with the 3, but I don't know. Was it, like, confirmed at all that they're going to do that, or is it just, like, a guess?
No, I just typically feel like whenever they have shows that are 10 episodes, it's typically like, hey, we have a 3-act structure, especially like a show like this, because... We've talked about like how Roanoke. I feel like they like got to the end of it. And they're
so
like,
drawn
we've already
out.
killed everybody. What do we do? Like, there's YouTubers in the woods now, and it's like, all right, get out of here.
That trailer of random people is so like, so random.
We didn't need this. But this, I'm like, okay, this is very well thought out. This seems very good. And Venable, I also love that Venom is in her name, and she uses venom to kill everybody. I was like, okay, again, on the nose, super on it.
Another reference.
I was like, this is a character that has been established as a strong force. She's going to be throughout this whole thing. And instead, they're like, nope, Mead shot her. She's gone. Everybody's dead.
That whole situation was just so weird to me. I was like, wow, but it's like, okay, yeah, you can clearly see that Langdon like mind tricked Mead, you know what I mean? To be like, no, this is what you need to do. So it's like he probably is a combination of all the witch's powers, you know what I mean?
I would think
so
because
like,
they have the 7 wonders, and you would assume, and since each of the Supremes can perform all the 7 wonders, it was kind of alluded to that I know some people in the chat too were saying that the boys' school was probably the male coven.
Yes.
So it would make sense if he was like the male supreme. So that will be interesting.
Like Antichrist, so everything that Christ was about, he's the opposite. So it's like, you know, luring and doing all the things the devil likes to do and that kind of stuff. So that's like getting
free will.
What was the whole reference between him and Mead? Because it was like they had that emotional moment, you know what I mean? And he was like, my childhood, like I've always never forgot you, and when you left, like I never forgot, or something like that. So I was like, well, Where did this come from?
Well, he killed the first lady when he was 3.
Right.
So maybe she was the one after, and they're like, we just need to get you a robot, not a real human, to take care of you.
Well, the
I don't know.
original one was a real person.
Right.
And so it wasn't a robot that took care of him. It was initially, he said that he had the robot built after the real person who was
Yeah.
the only
The
person that
prototype.
he loved. So something happened because she says, I don't know what happened to the blonde-haired boy that he later says is him, but something, I think I lost him because every time I think about him, I start crying. What seems to happen is that either he killed her or something happened where she died. And so then he had her reinstated as this robot.
You're
Is
right.
my
Okay.
assumption.
Yeah, that's
right.
that's a
It's
good
what
one.
it is. It's because she can't remember what the loss is, but he's clearly still here. So it's not that he passed, it's that probably she died.
Yeah.
Probably because of him. And then I would assume, because I'm like, if you're kicking it with the Antichrist, bad things are going to happen.
I'll be him.
Yeah, not a good idea.
Another thing that threw me off was the whole thing about him coming up with the idea about the apples. He was like, I see my plan went as well. It was like, who, like, where did you say that was the plan? Like, I thought that was Venable's plan to, you know what I mean? Give them the poison. So I'm like, did he mind trick Venable to say that? You know what I mean?
Well, it was
No, he
me who
might have-
suggested it.
yeah.
It was he programmed me.
Exactly.
It was Venable who was saying, I want to kill everybody. I want everybody to die.
came
And
up with the
Mead was
plan.
like, oh, well,
The
here's a plan.
apples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she did it in such a way that it made it seem like Venable thought she came up with
Like
it.
that's why I was
Yeah.
like the demeanor. She's like super like robotic and like
demeanor.
the program.
Demon.
And the apples came in the same type of carriage that he came in.
Yeah.
So I figured they were connected, except there was little red feathers on the horses this time. I don't know if there were last time. I think they were all black, but I guess it's
I
a
didn't even
little
catch
different.
that. Good eyes, Jen. Good eyes.
Look
Look
at
the
that.
colors. All that, symbolism with the colors. How they like to do it.
Man, yeah, this was an intense one. Just seeing, I assumed that everybody was going to come back to life. Like it was going to be his plan was to just knock them out and they weren't really dead. But no, everybody's dead. Everyone's legit. Like they're just KO. They're just out. Like
no coming
full-fledged,
back.
drank the Kool-Aid. It's bad.
And messy.
And messy. And I like that they're like, well, at least we don't have to clean it up because we're bouncing. Like we'll just leave all the
I was
corpses
trying
here
so
and go.
hard. I was trying so hard to like watch that and not miss anything, but I swear I get so like squeamish when I see people throwing up that I
yeah,
was just
no.
like, that was so intense, and I was
It
just
was
like, what in
gross.
like
Yeah, it was a
this
lot.
fake props and stuff was way they get a good job for that because I'm like their makeup and
See?
costume and stuff is amazing.
Yeah.
That's why I don't eat
So
fruit.
real. It's like, ugh.
Fruit.
Like, whatever, bring me another bowl of stew. I'm fine. Like, I'm not going out like that, guys.
That's funny.
It's horrible. Prepared by the top chef out here. Like, cook those people, bring them in. So then we get our big crossover is that 3 members have shown up. Cordelia, Madison, and Myrtle from Coven. Just like,
Finally. Finally.
Which I'm like, okay, if Venable has to die, it makes sense because you can't
I was
have
like, why is
Venable
Sarah Paulson-
and also Cordelia at the same time because they both have that same witchy aesthetic. And I'd be
Right.
like, who is this?
I literally
You
cannot
both look
stand
like
how
Stevie
Sarah
Nicks.
Paulson is always like 2 players in like every every
love
season.
it.
She's like 2 people.
I love it. I'm like, if you guys want to go, like, head over to the Hotel Cortez just to be like, what up, hypodermic Sally? Like, just so we can see her again. I'm fine with it. But Cordelia, who is the Supreme, as we have found out in previous seasons, says, go find our sisters, breathes life into Coco, Mallory, and Dinah, who have all been resurrected. Venable not. I guess, yeah.
She
Can't,
couldn't
Sarah
live-
Paulson
can't save
can't
them
really
all, huh?
resurrect herself. It would look weird. But I love that the last line, too, is Madison just getting up in her face and being like, in Mallory's face and being like, surprise, bitch.
Aren't you glad to
thought
see
you
me?
said
Like,
Bet you thought you
That
saw
was
the
the
last
last
of
of
me.
me.
So funny. How
Gossip
did-
Girl.
How I was like, yeah, it was like Scream Queens me. It's like American Horror Story. It was so cute, but it was like I was so confused. How did Dinah become a witch? I'm like, did I miss that?
So we really quick watched the beginning again when they were doing the interviews, and the things that Dinah said, I was trying to think, like Langton was saying to her, I'm not gonna have trouble this time, with you, and saying all these things to her that I was like, okay, she's clearly special.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
And he
all
was
that.
like, yeah, you're automatically going to go. And he was like, I need a soul like you or whatever.
Yeah.
And she was like, what
Yeah.
exactly are you looking for? But it was like,
What
I don't
kind
know.
of
Yeah,
soul
'cause-
is that?
And she's kind of like a new character to American Horror Story, too. So I was like, oh, she's a witch. Like, oh, okay, well.
That's what I figured. Because, like, didn't she say something about her powers or something like that?
I don't know. I'm like, I don't
I
know if
could've
I caught it.
sworn-
When in this episode?
Yeah.
I don't
In
know.
that meeting. Maybe I thought I
I don't
heard it
think
because
that
I
they know
figured
that
she
they're
was a witch
witches.
at that time.
I don't think any of the
Yeah,
three
that's
know
what I'm
that they're
saying. I don't
witches.
even.
Okay.
Because Mallory's whole big thing, she's the one who's actually showing powers, and her whole
Yeah.
thing is like, I don't know who I am, and this whole thing where he's like, you're scared to embrace who you really are because she feels like she has this other person clawing to get out. And I feel like the other two, as he pointed out, is that one, Coco is too self-involved and too superficial to even figure out that her influence isn't necessarily based on
Social media.
like talent or good opinions.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just that her opinion has power because she's a witch.
Right.
Dinah's a host, but we haven't seen quite what her power is. So I'm interested to see how
That's
that
why I'm
one
too. I was like,
emerges.
oh, out of like all people, she turned out to be a witch. I was like,
And Naz in the chat just said, Dinah said she wasn't powerful enough to beat Michael. I know she said something like that.
Oh, okay.
She said something like that in their interaction in the meeting that they had. And that's why I was like, maybe she's maybe she's a witch or
I'm like, whoo, that went
also
over my
has
head 'cause
powers
I didn't even.
or some sort. There's
like, I didn't
something
even catch
going on
that.
here. So
Yeah, okay. I didn't catch that either,
Yeah.
but that makes sense. If she
does.
knows that she has power. I mean,
Yeah.
Andre's one who is her son who flat out says that she's pure evil. So
Yeah.
there's more to her that we're
Yeah.
seeing than what we've seen on the surface. So far she's only had kind of little tidbits that have been thrown in. But I love Adina Porter, so I'm interested to see.
Maybe we'll see her more like
Yeah.
next episode. They'll probably dive into like their powers and
I'm
stuff. 'Cause
hoping.
well,
but now
like,
Andre's dead. I'm like, everybody
know.
else is dead.
Yeah, right.
I'm sad that Gallant died. I was like,
They're
I
gonna, you
like
know they're gonna bring Evan Peters back in some other way,
He's
shape, or form.
definitely
He's like
coming
him and
back.
Sarah Paulson are like the show, like
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
like
Maybe
Jessica Lange
Tate
too.
at
Yeah, I was gonna
least,
say
I
he's
would
gonna definitely
imagine.
come back.
You think Tate would come back?
Oh, I think Tate's coming
Oh
back.
my god.
Because if they're gonna do Murder House, and it's like, okay, but like Tate's mom took care of Michael, for like a long
Constance,
time,
yeah.
Constant. So it's like, it would make sense for them to
Yeah.
bring Tate back. I hope they do at least.
It
feel
would
like they
be on
probably
Devil's
will.
Night, Devil's Night. I mean, it would be on Halloween.
Halloween night.
Now,
So-
yeah, it would make sense. And this is kind of interesting too. At Ex Death Mistress sent us a hypothesis that Kit might return.
Huh.
That maybe that these are the descendants of Kit's children
From
that we saw in
Asylum.
Asylum. Now it makes sense because we know that Kit's wife was abducted by the aliens and that she had this alien baby. He had two different babies that he fathered, that he was special and had a special DNA. And these guys we know were brought in, that Timothy
Had special
was brought in
DNA,
too.
right.
But what's interesting is they just died. Like they weren't brought back.
Oh, that's
so,
true.
It's like, okay, if they were the ones that were brought with a special DNA, is
Yeah.
it somehow, was that like alien related maybe?
I feel
need
like
to
some
bring
of
it
them are
back.
gonna
Okay.
come back. Look, I'm like, I feel like
feel
some
like
of them
they
are gonna
have
come
to,
back. They can't
because-
just kill off like everybody just like that. Like something's
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Or
They
be
have to have
ghosts.
them not just for like the Adam and Eve reference, just
Yeah.
to be like, look, we have one biblical reference and now they're
No.
dead. It's
Yeah.
like, no, and it's like,
That'd be funny.
I feel like they wouldn't do that. Like, I'm like, yeah, they have to come back. Otherwise, we're all going to be like, hey, remember that time in American Horror Story? They just like introduced two characters and then we never went back to them.
yeah.
Not a fan of that.
Imagine we might be saying that at the last episode. Like, whatever happened to
right?
Timothy and Emily? Like,
I hope
Dead
not. I
storyline.
hope not. That better not be like a red herring when they're like, we're just focusing on Brock now.
Yeah.
Like, it's all just like Brock's backstory. Flashbacks of Brock. So kind
I
of
would watch. I mean, him and his Ferrari, day one, I'm like, all right, I'm there.
So, kind of diving into our little crossover segment that we do here, interested to see who else they could potentially bring back because we already have Keven diving in here, really
Yes.
blatantly saying that we're going to mend these together. Are there any other seasons that you guys think maybe some sort of far out, like Kit, for instance, somebody that they could potentially bring back? Or any crossovers that we're hoping to see that maybe haven't been alluded to yet?
I really hope that something connects with these aliens. Like, just something, just a little bit. Because I've been waiting for so long. And clearly Murder House. Clearly Coven. I don't know, maybe Freak Show will make its, just maybe everything. I know a hotel. But yeah, well, I guess
I
we'll
don't know.
see.
I was kind of thinking, I was like, it may be a mixture of all of them except like Roanoke and then like Freak Show. I kind of feel like I could see little references from all of them except those two.
I could see potentially. I mean, like Freak Show had the reference where they had Pepper from Asylum, and they were like, "Oh, here's Pepper's backstory, but out of sequence."
And
And
Mead?
then it like tied in, and Meep. So it's like I could see them maybe having like a little reference, but probably
true.
not diving too far into it. This one I'm excited though. I think this has just been a really, really cool
I think they're having fun with
season.
this one. Like the writers, they're having fun with this one.
And we even have a little bit of news and gossip that I know that Ash is.
All right, American Horror Story fans. So I did a little digging on Instagram today and found some goodies that I think we all might enjoy.
This is a treat without a trick.
Yes. So first up, I found this chart on Instagram that kind of is setting up where we think everyone is coming from, stemming from. What do you guys?
a work of chart.
Yes. What do you guys think about this? Are you buying into this chart and how it's set up and what's going on?
This is perfect. This definitely lays out exactly how everything is tied in together, and it lets us. It's a good reminder of the Murder House characters and how they tie into this season.
Yeah.
Is that Violet?
Yeah, Violet.
Okay, who's
is
next to
under-
Violet, though?
I was about to say, who
Violet's
was that
the
under
baby.
Ben?
So the baby
The
is,
miscarried baby?
Yeah.
because it wasn't really a miscarriage. It was
like a
she
7
said,
month-
but
the
she was like
stillborn,
she,
right?
she like had one little cry and then passed. So she is a forever baby that is stuck in the
wait, I
house.
thought it was like the baby wasn't born yet. Like the baby died in her womb,
No,
right?
she died when that's what they thought. The doctor said it was stillborn, but then when they actually gave it to the doctor's wife, who Tate impregnated poor Vivian for, so that she could have the baby that she desperately wanted, and then immediately was like, I'm bored of this baby. It just cries all the time. Take it away. She was the one who said, no, they handed it to me. There was a tiny little cry. He missed it because he's an idiot. My husband sucks.
He was high.
Yeah, but then after the one little cry, then the baby passed. So technically the baby was alive and then died in the house, which means that the baby's soul is forever in the house with the family.
Well, there you go.
Perma baby.
All right, next up we have.
Can you, I'm like, that would be my hell, is this child crying for all of eternity, and I'm like, and it never grows up. I never even get to see you like become like a toddler. Like it just cries forever. It's a loud baby.
All right, next up we have this image that I found. Says Venable said Outpost 3 used to be an all-male boarding school, and Michael was seen attending it in flashbacks. I think it could be used as the male coven for the Warlocks.
Boom, boom, boom.
Someone corrected me.
Dun, dun.
I did a before everything. I did like this thing that was the like symbolic of everything with American Horror Story. And someone yelled at me for saying warlocks. So male witches. So apparently just have to for the comments later.
Okay, sure.
For those,
Keep those comments on lock, but not on Warlock.
Oh,
That was bad. Not good.
we have to have it on.
Whatever. There's male witches too, I guess. Fine. So
that is
think
the
that
news
is-
and gossip for this week, ladies.
I'm into it. I think that's definitely feasible. I think there could definitely, I feel like with this Keven tie-in, it makes 100%. And I think it would make sense if he was the Supreme.
Yeah,
And we get a Cordelia Michael battle. But then she has all of the ladies behind her. Like,
Okay.
I got the
Ooh, that sounds like
Antichrist.
our news and like our little
dive into some predictions.
I was like news and predictions.
Let's do it.
I'm like news and predictions.
Some new predictions. How about that? Now we see a little bit on the coming up on, and we see Madison working in this grocery store, and somebody approached her who we assume is probably Michael.
Yeah.
We never got her backstory as to how she came to be at the Coven. We just know Madison Montgomery is this super famous actress.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that we're going to get Madison's backstory, and we're going to see that probably some witchery was involved in her becoming famous.
Okay.
And I wonder how long ago it was, because it looked like it was like a young Langdon. Like, it was like he had like a little short hair, like it was all styled. And
Yeah.
stuff. So I was like,
Time-wise, yeah.
Yeah.
If it was pre her being in the Coven.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
true. Because,
Totally.
yeah, then it would be...
She was approached a long time
2012.
ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it would be, I would assume, her working this day job that she doesn't like, and then him being like, I'll give you witch powers so you can be famous. And like most people in Hollywood, she was probably like, all right, take my
Sign me up.
Take my soul.
Do you remember my name tag so you don't forget? Like, you can just put my soul to that. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see that. I also interested to see when Coco is saying, please don't let me die again. It
Yeah.
sucked the first time. What do you guys think is happening now? Like, who do you think that they're going to have to confront? Do you think that this is going to go full back? It seems like they're still in the bunker, right?
Yeah, it seemed kind of interesting because I'm like, I don't know, is it like all the witches are going to go against Langdon, or do they all want to work together to kind of like save the world or recreate the world or whatever? So I'm like, I wonder how this little showdown is going to go.
Everybody wants to rule.
Well, if that's the case, it's not gonna go that easy because you know Madison, she's always out for herself. So
Of course.
Yep.
we'll see how that goes with her being involved.
And him having like a collective of all their powers. So that's true too. It's like they're going to all have to come together. And it's like if Mallory is like still trying to find herself, she's probably going to be like scared to be in like a showdown. Like, I don't know what I can do.
Yeah.
So it's like, we'll see.
I'm interested too because last episode Gallant was saying about the music that was playing, and he was like, it has to mean something.
Yeah.
And there was like kind of a joke about that. But this one, they play She's a Rainbow by the Rolling Stones. I wonder if that's going to have like some sort of a tie-in too, like any sort, like with the witches, because they also played Bread's Baby I'ma Want You.
Yeah.
So I'm like, maybe
I just
this
love
isn't
Ryan Murphy.
yeah, like, is this a real reference or are these just again
Right?
just mess with me? Because I kind of feel like that's where we're at right now.
Yeah.
And I think this episode was Ryan Murphy just messing with everyone.
Okay.
And just for fun. Predictions, I feel that, so we know that Madison Montgomery is definitely related to the Montgomerys who built the murder house. So if there's a connection there, then there'll probably be something with her being young and going off of that, and then, you know, the murder house. Okay, so I feel that we can't say so-and-so will die because they've already died. Everyone has died. But we all know that they can bring people back. So I think that more people will be brought back, and also they might be doing the Seven Wonders, because if Coco is like, I'm not down to die again, maybe it's something along those lines. I don't think they're
Well, the
with
Seven
Langdon.
Wonders, they only perform if they're looking for the new Supreme. So
Right.
I feel like it's basically just going to be figuring out which of those talents that they have. But I don't think that they'll have to do the Seven Wonders test.
Maybe. Or maybe Cordelia will get really weak, and they're like, is someone a new Supreme? I mean, you never know.
That was the only thing though in Coven where I was like, I don't care who the Supreme is. Show me these witches fighting each other again. I want to know. I want to know like the battle of like the two groups of witches, and I was like, it's just over. Now we're talking about the Supreme. Like what?
And where's Voodoo? What's going on?
Yeah.
Maybe they come.
Now this
That
is
could
the
be
only
Dinah.
thing that I'm like, okay. To the writers, if for any reason you happen to see this, the only thing I will ever request of you, go back and save poor Misty Day, damn it.
Yeah.
Her being stuck in hell, like I'm like, witches, get on this, go save her.
we
She
need
was
her.
so sweet. She
Yeah.
didn't even want to hang out with you
Misty.
guys. She just did it to like be nice to you. She liked her swamp.
She was looking for her coven. Wasn't you guys?
She didn't even want a coven. She was like, I just want to stay in my swamp and listen to my Stevie and plant my garden. And they're like, no, you're going to go to hell forever because we're a coven. I'm like, go save her. Save her, damn it. Sorry,
poor
damn it.
Missy,
But
look.
But isn't she coming back? She is coming back.
I don't think so.
They had photos of her.
See, Jen, you
Absolutely.
giving too much. You're
I'm
giving
sorry.
too much
We'll see,
gin.
because we saw some other characters that we are excited to see maybe at the murder house. So
Okay, should we do a little spoiler prediction right
Yeah.
now? Okay, guys, don't listen for a
Spoiler
second.
alert! Spoiler alert!
For our last couple
Spoiler
minutes
alert.
here, we're not going to make it a
Spoiler alert.
regular thing. They're really letting you know. It's a
know.
spoiler alert.
Stop listening.
We're not going to usually do this, but because you guys have seen a little bit of spoilery things,
yeah, so
we didn't
again,
throw it into news and gossip, but Ashley found.
I did. So, Instagram can get you in a lot of trouble. I found this on Instagram as well. Let's hit that play button. We saw some characters that we love at what we think is the murder house. They're currently filming there.
Do we have the video?
Press play.
Let's hit play. So, what do you guys
Oh, okay,
think?
so we're getting the video all queued up for you
Yeah.
guys here.
I'm like, since we've already seen the clip,
But we've
I'm like,
seen the clip. We can go ahead and kind of tease it a
Yes.
little bit. We know the big character that ever since they announced Hotel,
Yes.
that she was not going to be in it. We all had our own mini demon freak out face moment
I
where
almost
we were
didn't,
like,
I
what?
almost didn't want to watch. I was
I
like,
was almost like,
I'm over
you
it.
got rid of my queen. I'm not into it. We, of course, are talking about Jessica Lange, goddess herself.
The queen.
Who appears to be returning, potentially.
Potentially.
We don't know, potentially.
And what looks to be like the murder house. So,
Oh, here we go.
Interesting.
Here's the video.
she's enjoying some crafty right now.
Constance.
Yes.
But yeah, so
true Constance
A snack having
hairstyle.
snacks.
Yeah.
Love it.
so I'm interested to see what's gonna happen here.
Definitely.
If we get full Constance like coming up soon, I'm gonna be very, very
I think I'm gonna fall out.
excited.
Yeah, I'm like,
Well, they did
could this be
say
coming true?
she'll be in episode 8.
I heard
Know that for
6.
sure.
Oh.
I heard only because it's the one that Sarah
okay.
Paulson is
Yeah.
directing.
Oh,
That's
okay.
all.
She's the spoiler
I know,
expert. So,
right?
They stopped listening already. Nobody's listening. I can talk all day.
Are we done with spoilers?
Yes, we're
Yeah.
done.
Okay,
Okay,
you can
guys.
come back. Come back to us. Return. Everyone's like, we've already clicked off. Forget about your sign-offs. We don't care. We know it's near the end. So until we return next week, which we will be here next week. In the meantime, we want to hear from all of you guys. Again, be sure to comment, rate, subscribe, all that good stuff. A couple more shout-outs too. Why not? A shout-out to David Baldwin and to InfoWars. Infowars.com. Thank you guys for commenting and checking us out. You're awesome. But where can everybody keep up with you guys on social media?
You guys can follow me on Instagram at @the_Kayla Rene'e.
Hey guys, talk to me on Twitter at Jennifer Leone TV. I'm Jennifer Leone.
And you guys can catch me, Ashley Allen, on Twitter and Instagram at Ashley Reed Allen.
And I'm Alana Jordan. You can find me on Twitter at Alana Jordan and on Instagram at that Alana Jordan girl. And I'll be back here tomorrow night for the first episode of The Good Place after show as well. Yeah. And we'll see you guys next week.
All right,
Bye, guys.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.